Short of divine intervention, I'm not expecting any breakthroughs at the Lavrov-Blinken meeting today. These two gentlemen know each other fairly well right now, but Lavrov has been at this game for a very long time. He's a master at manipulation, like his boss, Mr. Putin. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to make clear what their red lines are. And for the Russians, of course, that means bringing NATO or EU borders up to the Russian border. And it also could mean don't bring Ukraine any further into integration with the EU. It's a very difficult situation right now with both sides, I think, ready to entrench even further than they have been before. Yeah.
What has suggested that there'll be an invasion? We know that there is a further build-up of troops, but that's happened before. Is Putin just testing the waters at the moment?
Sure. Well, let me make one thing very clear, is we are in a very, very, very dangerous situation. Possibly worse than 2014, Bev. And the reason I say that is because right now, for example, I was with the OSCE monitors in Ukraine for 2 years. And at the moment, what's happening is OSCE monitors are being blocked almost on a daily basis. This is unprecedented. And what this tells me is that they are kind of preparing the landscape for an invasion. The other worrisome thing right now is that, fortunately for Ukraine, they are gaining some air superiority when it comes to fighting back the Russian-backed rebels in Donetsk with these Turkish-made drones that were such a big benefit to Azerbaijan in the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. And you will recall that when Ukraine last had air superiority in that fighting zone in 2014, what did the rebels do? They phoned Moscow. A Buk missile launching system was brought in. And sadly, that's the device that brought down MH17. So that is the situation we are in right now. And just very quickly, Bev, the other thing that's happening kind of behind the surface in Moscow is that the not only are the military and the security services getting more influence in the Kremlin, but they're also getting more latitude to fight the West with things like cyber attacks and ransomware. So you also have a repositioning of powerful forces inside the Kremlin that would probably all advocate for their invasion in Ukraine.
Yeah. We saw several arrests made this evening of Ukraine intelligence officers. What do you make of that move at this time? Is it retaliatory? How do you read it?
I don't read a heck of a much into that, but what was very interesting in the past week was President Zelensky of Ukraine claiming that Russia and another oligarch in Ukraine are organizing a coup. I think this was kind of a smokescreen away for Zelensky, who before was a TV comedian and forgot he's president for a moment. He was trying to perhaps, boost his sagging popularity ratings, as well as distract attention from many of the problems, for example, energy security at home. So I don't read very much into those theatrics happening on both sides of the border.
Theatrics, as you point out. Now, Ukraine, though, is asking the US for further sanctions, and the US is open to it. They've said tonight, Secretary Blinken has said tonight that he is open to further sanctions. Is this going to have any impact? We haven't seen Russia respond to sanctions in the past. Is that only likely to just galvanise them even further?
I don't think it will have much impact. In fact, it's sad to say, but I think the diplomatic toolbox is pretty depressingly empty right now as far as the West is concerned. Russia is one of the most sanctioned countries in the world. I think they're used to it. And what they've done internally, Bev, is that these Western companies, whether they're in heavy industry or in high tech, who have lost Western business, well, guess what? Mr. Putin has okayed or green-lighted the defense ministry and other sectors of the government to give contracts to these companies. So they're very well prepared for more pain. However, I will qualify by saying if the West does implement what I call the nuclear action, that is temporarily removing Russia from the international payment system, the SWIFT system, that would be very, very painful for the economy.
That is interesting if that is a lever they are prepared to pull. Michael, Belarus threatening to curtail oil supplies to Poland. This is another part of the world that we believe Putin is meddling in. What do you make of this standoff?
Well, we must remember that Belarus at the moment is a puppet. Lukashenko is a puppet of Mr. Putin. They now have a military and security alliance, so Belarus will do whatever the Kremlin wants, and that includes the use of energy as a weapon. And you'll recall that President Putin promised not to use that Nord Stream 2 pipeline to Germany that is about to come online as an energy kind of weapon. But here we go, another example. And also has to be remembered that Russia is also putting a stranglehold on Moldova as well, where a pro-Western government has been elected. So it isn't a very good scenario, but I think it kind of foreshadows more of what we're about to see, not only happening in Ukraine, but also in Western Europe.
Michael, always appreciate your analysis. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.